Captain's Log Supplemental.
Hey Jeremy, you know those race cars you're busy building?
Yeah, I do. I
You,
got one
you
that I'm looking at every day.
you know what I don't see you working on?
You don't see me working on the amazing Sentinel system yet.
That's true. It would take all of 10 minutes for you to have one.
And it's very quick and easy to install.
It is. It is. And we could watch you when we are not at the race with you and see how you're doing. And then we can call you up when you get out of the car and tell you everything you did wrong.
And I love that because so many years I've been driving and not been able to see what I'm doing.
I know.
And now we can.
I know. You know what I'd like to do with the video? My most favorite thing is I take the video and I load it on YouTube and then I send it to my coach and say, look at 26 minutes and 17 seconds. Look at this one lap and tell me what I can do better. And every single time, you know what they say?
Everything.
Exactly. Precisely. So with the Sentinel system, you get instantaneous feedback plus useful feedback that unfortunately is accurate for my driving.
I think it's accurate for all of our driving.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. But you need to get one in your car, sir.
Yes, I do. And with the discount code that you're going to tell everybody, they can save 10% on this awesome system.
Yep. Trouble free. I haven't had an issue getting video every time we've gone out with the Sentinel. It's always worked. Can't say the same for some of the other systems we've tried. So I don't know. It's on the podcast notes down there. Don't do it while you're driving, though. We like to have our listeners live. It's good.
From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicki.
And I am Jeremy.
And in honor of
Woohoo!
Jeremy's beard,
What?
and in honor of Jeremy's beard, we're going to have I think it's annual. I think we've done this a few times. I don't remember if we did it every year, but whatever. We're doing it again. Christmas for racers and drivers because
And mechanics.
because we're trying to get away from coffee cups and t-shirts
And posters.
and coasters.
Oh,
Coasters.
yeah.
All right. I was going to say socks, but we do have socks on here. But they're special socks. They're not
Yeah.
goofy socks. They're special
Yeah.
socks. So,
They're very important. Very,
All right.
very important.
and unfortunately, they have the same magical power as all the rest of our socks. So they managed to, disappear. Don't know where they go. But
Yep.
anyway, so who would like to go firsties? I have a list of 27, 29 things. So I can probably go last or I can go first.
He's an overachiever.
We could do like one at a time.
Okay. All at the same time so we can confuse everybody.
Yeah,
Would that be fun?
so
Yes.
All right, Miss Vicki, ladies
gonna
first.
this is going to be a good one. There's lots of cool things. It's time to start thinking about your racer friends. It is time to start thinking about your mechanics. And I know that people are wondering what to get people that are in the garage. So hopefully this will help you out.
So you two have the ball. Ladies first.
Well, my newfound joy.
Listen, they can't have me.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I have a couple good things.
Not even.
Um, so some of the racers that are not even so much racers, but if you're racing, if you happen to go on a rally or whatever, I am for the structured backpack for your tools. Milwaukee has a pack out.
Packhouse, the
And
square thing though.
yeah, and you can either get ones that attach to the pack out system, or you can get one that is just a regular backpack. And these are kind of handy, like if you're on a road trip and you would like to have a bunch of stuff with you or whatever, but they range anywhere between like 99 to like 300. I think the pack out system is the higher end of it. It's got a 50-pound capacity to it, and they got structured bottoms. But I actually had moved mine to the house, out of the garage. I use it for the rallies, and I moved it to the house because now instead of having that freaking bucket, the bucket liner, which never worked for me, I just grab my backpack and I go to whatever floor I need to be on with everything that I need.
Yours is a Sonic, by the way.
Yeah, mine is a Sonic,
Yes.
and I found a good home for it, and I love it.
Alrighty. Um, let's see. Let's see. I would go with, so there's this thing that everybody uses, and there's two different kinds. There's the one you keep in your car, and one you need at the racetrack. Now, the one that's at the racetrack, these are tire pressure gauges and monitors. Now, the one that's at the racetrack is typically a long acre. And as you get older, it's typically going to be the long acre with the bigger dial. Just saying. I don't know why that works that way, but something about the age and beauty and eyesight just going away, but whatever. So that's the traditional one that I think I see most of the time. However, uh, there's a website that does tool reviews, and it's unsponsored, and it's called Project Farm. And what it does is it tests things without getting samples or anything, so it's sort of unbiased. And when he tested it for accuracy and durability, the JACO came out, JACO came out to be accurate to within less than a pound at different temperatures, pressures, and testing sites. And then the one that he liked for the car, which is like one of those little digital readers, this one's about $10. This one, great stocking stuffer. It's made by Ettenwolf. It costs a whopping, like I said, $10. And this idiot over here bought like 8 of them and gave them to everybody before Christmas. So I'm still in the market for stocking stuffers. Whoopsies. So
Everybody, really?
the entire house. I mean, every car we have that we drive on the street has one now, and they work pretty well. And one thing that I did like, which it's not the only one that has this, but it does have a light on it. So when you need to check your tire pressure and it's dark, which is almost every time you need to check the tire pressure, it's always dark because it's usually winter and it's cold. It has a little light there, so you can actually see what you're pointing at, as opposed to fondling your rim. Yes, I say rim. Came from New Jersey, rim. And then figuring out where the air pressure gauge inlet is. And question for Jeremy, since you're smart, dude. I have a tire that has 2 of those little bad boys. Why does it have 2?
You have a wheel on your vehicle that has 2 tire pressure sensors in it?
No, not the sensors, the little schnozzles, not the Schrader valve. 2 Schrader valves. Why does it have 2? Why?
I've never seen that before. I don't
That's
know.
what I said. So
is it a Honda thing?
I don't even remember which car it is, but anyway, it's got 2 of them, and it looked weird to me. So I was thinking maybe it's not for accuracy, or maybe it's just so you don't know. You never notice that one of the tires is always in the weirdest position. You can't really get to it. Maybe it's so you don't ever have that problem. You have 2 choices. Anyway, that's my thing. Tire pressure gauges. Never have too many of them.
No, they always come in handy.
They do. The only thing I would
Mhm.
say is if you're going to use it at the racetrack, have one of them be your standard reference one. Don't go in between like four different tire pressure gauges because sometimes the gauge to gauge variation is quite high. If we want to get into gauge R&R studies, I can do those for you, but we're trying to keep everybody awake in case they're driving. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Santa Jeremy, ding, ding, ding,
That
ding,
one?
ding.
Well, I'm gonna go on the side of I'm just thinking about how, over the years, I'm at the point now where I need to start replacing these things. So I think that a lot of other racers might be at that same point as well. So I'm gonna go with gloves, like racing driving gloves.
I thought you were
Um,
going to work gloves. Okay,
and
racing driving
that's
gloves. I
so
like that.
driving gloves.
Uh-huh.
So mine are at the point now where they're starting to show signs of wear, and before they rip open and I can't use them, I need to replace them. So to the listeners out there, this one would be kind of tricky in terms of you being, you know, keeping it a secret because gloves fit differently to each person, and everybody has their own idea of what feels, or well, not idea, but everybody has their own feeling of what's comfortable to them. Very particular. I know I'm very particular about my gloves. So sizing, types of gloves, stitching, things like that. That's all going to come into play. But I think that you can always have a 100% awesome gift with some driving gloves.
So one thing I would say is the easiest way to figure out size and or brand preferences is to go sneak attack the racing back and see what
One
they have.
100%.
It's not that hard, people. We're not that subtle. Always need an extra pair of gloves because they're not quite socks, which we'll get to, I'm sure, someday before this is over. But yeah,
And I'll be honest, if the person doesn't like the gloves in terms of driving, they can always wear them for fuel pit stops and things like that.
hmm indeed.
Mhm.
And if you're able to know what color they want, usually drivers would like it to somewhat match their clothing, but you want it to be a different color than the car. So because when you're going to have to stick your hand up and give signals and stuff, you want to be able to see it and not have. I typically don't like the all black versions, just personal preference.
Well,
Mhm.
that's what I have. I love it.
I know. Well, you like black
Except
gloves.
I don't really like it. It was just what I bought originally. Or when I bought it, I bought just all black.
Mhm.
Super bright colors are coming next. I think my next suit's going to be pink.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Speaking of obnoxiously bright gloves, Miss Vicky.
Yes. So I have come across something. They're starting to show up. They are fireproof crew shoes
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
because
those.
when you're at the racetrack and you have to crew and you have to walk around in those freaking race shoes, I tell you, your feet are done by the end of the weekend. So if you can get yourself a good pair of fireproof crew shoes, they're sold by, G-Force, Simpson, Sparco. They all make them in various price points. I found these to be very, very helpful on my knees and my ankles when I'm at the racetrack.
Plus, they save wear and tear on your racing shoes.
Absolutely, they do on your more expensive shoe.
I don't know. Some people would argue that those crew shoes are pretty damn expensive. So,
Yeah, well, no, well, they are, but there's also price points. You can go as expensive as you need to, or you can get something that's probably more comfortable in your range.
they look like regular
Like sneakers.
sneakers, and they have a little bit of cushion on the bottom, unlike our driving shoes. So
Yes.
it seems like a dumb thing until you walk around like pit race, where the paddock is infinitely wide and infinitely long, and you walk around in your racing shoes for a
Yeah.
while, or they get wet. If your racing shoes get wet, that's just a bad weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Pro
Yep.
tip: do not dry your racing shoes in a industrial commercial dryer. You will
Mm-hmm.
come out with several pieces of fabric, none of them attached to each other,
And cork.
and some cork. Yeah, not that that's ever happened to anybody here, but anyway. If you drive a relatively new car, I'm kind of grooving on these OBD2 scanners. There's
Yeah.
Carly has a small little dongle type,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a subscription after the first year. That seems to be working pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy has the big boy Matco scanner. and
Mhm.
Emmy Ween if you want to go not quite whole hog, maybe like just pork loin. The Icon OBD2 scanner seems to be pretty well and doing
Yeah.
pretty well. That's like I don't remember. It's 4 digits, so be prepared. They can be. It's
There,
much like a trip to Hawaii. How much does it cost? As much as you're willing to spend.
that's
Yep.
true. That is true. And also when you keep in mind that when you start looking for an OBD2, sometimes cars have specialties. The BMW might have a specialty to the OBD2 scanner, so just double check, you know, what you're buying. But they can go from a little handheld to something that looks like a uh an iPad.
Yeah. Like the
Hmm.
Carly's like $100, so it's
Yeah.
not terrible. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all
And
right,
it can
Sam.
be
Go ahead.
attached to your phone. It Bluetooths to your phone, so you download the app.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Santa Jeremy, Santa Jeremy.
I'm gonna stick with my gear theme here, and I think we kind of chatted about this earlier. Um, Socks. So Nomex racing
Nice
socks.
socks.
So we all have to wear them as racers, and they are fireproof, and they're fairly inexpensive. So it's an easy stocking stuffer. But on the socks as well as the gloves, I have some socks that I absolutely cannot stand and I don't wear because they're not comfortable. So kind of be discreet, search through the bag and find out what socks they have. Typically, us racers will have 3 or 4 different pairs in there. And if you see multiple pairs of the same brand and the same sock, those are the ones that you want to get. They do wear out fairly quickly. That's why we usually have multiple pairs in our bags. So super simple, super easy stocking stuffer. Every one of us need them. And I know we kind of said earlier, socks, t-shirts, was trying to stay away from that stuff, but this is a different sock and we all need them.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. And
Yes.
you know, there's two bad stories related to these safety um, gloves, socks, things that Jeremy's been corning on. There's a famous story that Mental is on the Everyone Racers podcast where they had one team that was just getting started and they decided that they were going to share their safety equipment and save money. And the race was in the summer, and the
Oh
race
God.
and the race was in Texas. So uh the second driver was the first to realize the failure in their ways, and it got progressively worse and did not get any better on Sunday. And then the second story that I have seen is sharing them to go through tech, but then using normal socks during the race. That's not a good plan.
It's
Hmm.
not. And I know that listeners that have been listening to us for a while and have heard me talk about it, safety, 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 that's my biggest thing. And you can never, ever, ever have enough safety equipment. Don't skimp on it. Don't share it. Have your own. It makes life so much easier. I know it's expensive, but it 100% is worth it.
Hmm.
Is it me or you, Miss Vicki? I forget.
Yeah, I think it's me.
Okay.
So, for people that are working, in their home garages, I was looking at the heavy duty car ramps. And they are just so you can do something quick. You can kind of roll your car up onto it. Um, and they're listen, they're not for when you have to do anything major. They're for something that you have to do quick. Go up there and just double check it.
Oil
You can
change.
kind of roll your stuff up. They're made by Rhino Gear. They're called Rhino ramps. They're heavy duty car ramps for
Hmm.
just something that you might have to get up there and just take a quick look at something instead of having to pull the jack system out. It's an
Right.
option.
Quick oil change.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, there was a Project Farm on car ramps, so there's a variety of prices you can spend. Again,
Yep.
how much do you want to spend uh,
Mm-hmm.
by size and shape? And but some of the cheaper ones are pretty good. Just make sure they're safe.
Yes.
All right, let's get into some serious racing stuff. Let's talk an inflatable truck bed pool, where you turn your truck bed
Yes.
into a pool and or hot tub. I think Coleman has the Three Pedal Mafia approved hot tub, useful for hot
tub in the cold and hot tub in the heat. First rule of hot tub is, Miss Vicki,
Get in early
or don't get in at all.
or don't get in at all.
Yeah, because towards the end of the weekend, it can turn into something akin to man soup. So choose wisely.
First rule of hot tub is we don't talk about hot tub.
Hot tub, yeah. Yeah. We may end up getting two of these. We may have a girls version and a boys version, and we'll see how that goes. But I will say that Bruce has, I believe it was Bruce, come up with the most ingenious method of filling. They either fill up a tarp in the back of a truck and then just lower the tailgate on top of the hot tub. And if that doesn't work, they have, I believe, a 400-foot length of PEX tubing, which can hook up to virtually any hose that they find and usually get back to wherever the hot tub is located. So just get there early, turn on the heat, and plan on it taking more than a couple hours to get warm. But must be seen in all true racing paddocks, I believe. I believe that's the way.
Mm-hmm.
Santa.
Okay. So I'm gonna continue with my same theme.
Did you fall off a reindeer or something?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. Yeah, Vixen was being honorary earlier.
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit more and talk about a little bit of head protection. So let's talk about getting a helmet. All right. Now again, same thing as the socks and the gloves. Helmets are various different price ranges, from fairly inexpensive all the way up through. You do need to make sure that the series that they race in, whatever that series requires for standards for the helmet, whether it be SA 2020, SA 2015, whatever the standards are, that the helmet meets those standards, because if not, then it just becomes a fueling helmet. So I think, that might be something you may want to talk about before you drop, $1,500 on a helmet, or you spend $300 on a helmet, and again, prices vary drastically. So I'm a big Stilo fan. I know Miss Vicki loves her new Stilo that she got last year.
I do.
So again, safety is one of those things. The thing with the Stilo helmet is the lightweight of it. It makes it so much easier to wear for such a longer period of time. I have a Summit helmet that I got from, I don't remember what brand it is, but I got it from Summit, and it was like $400, and it suited me very well, but it was super heavy. I got the Stilo, and I will never look back. So It's all depends on your budget,
and your head.
Yep.
And
Gotta
your
fit your head. Gotta fit your head.
Yep. And again, helmets are very, each helmet is different in the way they fit. So, that might be something you may not be able to spring as a surprise gift, unless you buy the same helmet they currently have, knowing that theirs is out of date or whatever. Just time for a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another thing to think about is if you do break into the safety bag that everybody has at races, and it comes with a eau de toilette smell coming out of it, you pretty much can choose anything that's in that bag needs to be replaced, because sometimes they stink pretty much.
Yeah, if it's the most weird funk you've ever smelled,
Yeah.
You may as well just pick something out of it and just replace it.
Anything, yeah. Yeah, maybe a new bag. Sometimes it gets pretty bad. If you're worried about the helmet fitting, though, a gift card to a local race shop would work too, so they could go pick out whatever they want.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. Because helmets typically are not returnable.
No.
So that's something to remember when you're looking at buying a helmet for someone.
I tried bringing back the bras, but they wouldn't. Oh, different stories, different podcast, different podcast.
What?
Different podcast. It's fine.
All right. So I had come across something that was kind of handy, which was a Lang Tools B600 heavy duty battery carrier. It is found on Amazon. They're made by, a couple other people also, but what it is, it's a handle and almost like a grip that attaches to the battery, because sometimes the batteries don't have handles anymore and they're just really awkward to carry and they're friggin' heavy. So this attaches to the lip of the battery and you almost carry it with an angled, like a bicycle grip holder, and you're able to go and exchange your batteries. It fits tightly and it holds really nice. They're very affordable. They're a nice little kind of add-on to your garage, or just like a little filler gift for that mechanic. So yeah, I think that would be kind of handy.
They're great. They make carrying batteries so much easier.
So much easier.
And they're heavy.
I've had to lug these things around the garage to relocate them and to before we have to go get them done, and it's not something I look forward to.
Well, while Miss Vicky's on the subject of batteries, uh, I like having batteries that actually have power. And we're going into the off season around here, and one of the things that we try to do is hook everything up to a trickle charger or a maintainer.
Unsung heroes.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, I don't know if you've been to the local flaps, but when you go buy a battery, they're more than $10. I'm just saying, more than severals of tens of dollars. They are not cheap, and if you can keep your battery charged and or maintained, that would be great. And anybody who is racing that uses the lithium batteries, they have a different charger maintainer. It doesn't cost a whole lot more, but definitely could cause a problem if you use the wrong one. So trickle charger maintainer. Usually a lithium one will work, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, will work on both types of batteries, and the standard ones will not work on the lithium ones.
That is correct.
Yes. See, I got something right. Look at that. It only took us 650 something episodes. We're good. We're good. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
Right down Garage Heroes and Training Lane. All right. So one more safety item. Neck restraint. So head and neck restraint. We all have to have them. Doesn't matter where we race, what we race in. You've got to have them. They are sized for different sizing, small, medium, large. There's a whole variety of different ones out there. Again, this is something that you could just grab out of the bag and replace, order the same one, make it super simple. There's a bunch of different brands, bunch of different price points. I know a lot of people like the, I think Bill Next Gen.
Next Gen, Vicki and Jennifer soon will have.
Yeah, Next Gen. There's a whole bunch of different ones. I personally have the Hans. I really like that. They do have to be certified. So you do have to remember to pay attention to the dates. Speaking of that, check everyone that is listening that is a racer. Check all of your certifications over the wintertime.
But it doesn't do any good, Jeremy, if you check your certifications and then forget to do anything about it going into pit race. I'm just saying, I've heard of people
check them all and pull them out and set them on your kitchen table, so it forces you to send them out.
You would think that would work, but sometimes I've data to support that it doesn't always work. Oh, as far as Hans and neck devices go, head and neck restraints, you can again spend what you want, and usually you spend more for lighter and more for the ability to turn your neck. Like there is a very cheap version out there that is really heavy and you can't turn your head at all. And then there are some very expensive ones that are very light and you can turn your head almost like you don't have a Hans on, and everything in between. So again, it's racing.
Yep. All right. So I came across something I've never seen before. It does not pertain to me because I do not work on trucks, but if you happen to work on your hauler, or any tall truck, there is something called a Traxion foldable topside automotive. What is it? I just lost my way here. Hold on. Okay.
Everybody's
It
all
is a
excited.
Traxian foldable topside automotive engine creeper. So what this is it's like a ladder that kind of leans a little bit, and on top of it is your creeper, but you're laying on your stomach. So when you're working on your tall vehicle, instead of having to crawl into your engine to do any kind of work or try to stand on something that's next to it, this allows you to practically lay over top of your engine to do the work that you need to do. It's a little bit of a higher price range. It's in the $300 range. But if you happen to work on your haulers, and have to do anything with that, I thought that this was a pretty cool idea.
So the real common name for those topside creeper.
Topside creepers,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what most people know those as. Yeah, a topside creeper.
I've never seen one before. When I saw it, I got excited.
They're awesome. I used to
Yeah, I
sell
got
a lot
excited
of them.
about
They
it.
are awesome.
Now, I don't work on our truck, but I could see the benefit of it from having to change the oil in my truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that truck is a little high. It's like
Yes.
6 to 8 inches too high, depending on whether you're talking about the back or the front. And it's just like, it's so hard to get there. All
Yeah.
right. So let's talk about people
6 to 8 inches.
well, it's good.
Huh?
It's in the wintertime. It's shrinkage. Um, let's talk about people who are on the fence. People who maybe like to drive, but don't know if they want to
Don't
go on a
climb on the
track.
fence.
Don't climb on the
It's
fence.
unsafe.
Splinters in weirdest places. Let's say you have somebody who's thought about it and never did it. Let's say you have somebody who's never thought about it and you think they might like it. Track day gift cards. They can
Kid
be,
Barber Racing School.
they could, well, yeah, I mean, you can go again from $100 to several $1,000s. Racing
Hmm.
school is not cheap. Extreme experience. I know Jeremy's sitting
Yep.
there saying, what about me? You can do that. You can go give them NASA HPDEs or Hooked on Driving or any of the various uh, places that you can go for high performance driving education, where you can start from basically zero and learn your way on the track. Nothing wrong with a good track day gift card. Let's say you know a racer who races with SCCA or NASA. Give them a track day gift card from their organization and it'll save them some entry fees or whatever. Or if they just want
Well,
to go
it could also be an easy test day for them.
easy
Yeah.
test day.
You
That's
know
right.
what? It's a gift of experience.
That's right.
It's an experience versus a thing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And you never know. Like if you're smart, maybe the family CFO is not a racer.
Hmm.
If you can get the family CFO to be a racer, then the family CFO budget for racing may increase. I mean,
Hmm.
there's some wisdom there.
Keep talking. Keep
Mhm.
talking.
Yeah.
Worked on you, baby. Anyway, Jeremy, get me out of this tub.
Oh. All right. Um, how about a new race suit?
Oh, look at you, safety boy.
Look
Yeah.
at me. I'm going to
Safety
stay with it.
Santa. Safety
How about a new
Santa.
race suit, right? So let's say the race suit is old, starting to show signs of wear, whatever the case may be, has a tear in it. It's very hard to fix those things. It's a lot often easier to replace them. Or your racer has lost some weight and now the suit is far too big, or like some of us went the opposite way, so now the suit's too small. A lot of different reasons to buy a new race suit. Again, this is something where you can spend a little bit of money up to a whole lot of money.
Hmm.
And as you climb up in the price range, obviously the suits become more comfortable, easier to move around in, all of those kind of things. Um,
Hmm.
Also, this is something that uh, if you live with a racer, you know they have either told you they love this suit or they hate this suit that they have. We are very open about our race suits and how they fit and how they feel. So chances are, again, just go into that disgusting, nasty smelling bag, pull out the race suits that's in there and go, okay, well, this one's 2 sizes too big and this is the suit. Order it in one size smaller because you still want a little bit of room. And there you go.
So, and I like to follow that up with, and ladies, I have been successful with the HRX line for women. They are a little bit more flattering, and they're cut for our bodies, and the
Babies.
lines that are on there line for our bodies versus just fitting into a suit. So I know there's a bunch of them that are out there, but sometimes they're also just kind of like a unisex thing, so you kind of get what you get. But you know, Sparko is coming along with some, and Simpson, they're starting to come along with some lines that are flattering for us. So, keep that in mind when you're shopping.
Do you hear that, Max? Audra needs a new suit for next year.
Just be careful that Jeremy doesn't wear it first. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
Santa Jeremy or me?
Oh no,
No,
it's
it's you.
me.
It's me. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's
Oh
Vicki.
no, it's me. I just
It's
filled in.
Vicki.
So I came across the endoscope camera with a light, uh, and it's got a screen inspection camera on it. So these are really great from when you have something that's kind of happening in a nook or a corner on your engine where you just really can't see or get to, just for inspection purposes. Um, so I would kind of put that in. It's about $40. And like again, it's got an LED screen.
Or way
Um,
more.
huh?
Or way more. They
Or
can,
way more.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a small camera. It's got the light on it. So and it's got a 4-inch LED screen. So
Mhm.
I think that would be kind of cool. Like in those little tight spots where you really can't figure out, what's going on, or you can put it down into the engine and hopefully see something that you really can't figure out. So that would be I think that would be a valuable present.
You know what else would be a valuable present? To
What's that?
make your driver, racer, friend, or family member faster. You know what I think they should get? They should get a membership to Blaze subscription. It's about $100,
Okay.
but that includes at least monthly. They have video seminars, which are actually very cool and would help you. Plus, within there, you get one lap of coaching from a one of their coaches, and they will take either a video you submit or a clip from YouTube that you tell them, "Hey, can you take a look at me doing this?" And they will go through it. And usually, let's say the lap is a minute and a half. Usually, when you're at my level, it'll take them about a half an hour to get through all the things that I'm doing wrong. I mean, to help me.
Because they have to tell you all the minute and a half that you were actually driving was
Exactly.
completely wrong.
Exactly. Yes. Well, they don't do that. Just I'm special. But they do actually show when you're doing something right, when you're doing something wrong, and things to work on that you can work on for the next time. And they will, you can get more dates, you can get faster turnaround. Like you could do this on a Saturday morning, get it turned around Saturday afternoon, and go back out there and race, or you could have them on call for the entire weekend. That's not within the $100, but great collection of coaches there. Dion's been on this podcast, I don't know, 3, 4 times, something like that, and several of his coaches. So I think for $100, you can't go wrong for that. So if that's in the price range that you're looking for, I would say $100 for a Blaze subscription would be well spent.
Nice.
Did I talk about getting new race shoes yet?
No, I'm sure it'll be your next one though.
Okay, perfect. So earlier, Vicki talked about those amazing crew shoes.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to the driving side of that. New race shoes. All right. Again, same kind of thing. Look in the duffel bag. Chances are, if your racer has 2 or 3 pairs, the ones that are in the duffel bag are the ones that they like and that are comfortable. Price ranges vary. You don't have to go crazy on these things. I know that some of them are stupid expensive. I'm a big Sparko fan. That's what my shoes are. Love them. They're like $150. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones out there. Just kind of look in the bag, see what there is, and super easy, super easy.
Yeah. Anything in the bag that has duct tape on it, that's a hint and a half that you should be buying one of those.
That's a you're gonna ask them how they're still racing with it with duct tape on it.
Exactly. So just something that's showing wear Anything that has a hole is not technically legal. So anything that's kind of wear, anything that looks like it's, seen better days, not quite fresh and new. Uh, that's a open invitation and greatly appreciated by any of the racers in your gift giving Zoom.
Mhm.
It's Vicki.
Yeah. So I was also into a security camera, and a light system for your garage for when, in the event something happens and people know that you have a lot of stuff that's in your garage, you work in your garage. This particular one is
Can you
it
use it on
is
the
an
trailer while you're looking?
indoor LED garage light, Wi-Fi security camera. It's got like a three-way bright lights to light up your area, and it's got tracking, motion, and it has a sensor for camera in color and night vision compatible, and is compatible with your Alexa. So if you have one of these in your garage and you happen to be away for the weekend or something like that, you can know that your stuff is safe and people aren't going to go in and break into your house and, raid your garage.
And they have systems for your trailer as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Different, but yes.
Mhm.
All right. I'm trying to be, I know Vicky's going to scare. I'm trying to be practical. All right.
Bill's not practical at all.
No, not at all.
You're gonna have to give me a minute. Hold on, Bill.
All right, Santa. You
He's
need to
still
settle in.
laughing.
All right.
Still
So I'm
laughing.
thinking, what's the definition of a stocking stuffer? It's got to be kind of small. It should be cheap. I'm going with, I've got two. I've got two that I think. There are tire crayons. These are crayons that you put on tires, and you can either label how many heat cycles they've had, or you can see how much rollover on the side you've had. You can use them for a bunch of different ways. They're kind of fun. They're like a couple bucks, no big deal. And then the other one that I kind of like, I like having gone through more than my fair share of windshields. I like the windshield repair kits, and there's a Primatex. I can't remember what it is. Yep, Jeremy's holding up his tire crayon. It comes in yellow and white usually. The black crayons, they don't sell very many of those since tires are black. But if you need one, let me know. And actually, tires aren't black; they're made black. That's a whole different story. We'll get into chemistry
Mhm.
later. So, Permatex. Jeremy likes Rain-X. I like Permatex for windshield repair. The key is really when we're racing on track, there's a possibility of stones to be thrown and little chips, and they turn from a little conchoidal fracture, which is no big deal, to a big old line, spider creeping all the way across your windshield. And Jeremy, let me just check. In the racing rule book, is it required that the crack goes right through the driver's line of vision? I believe that is required because it seems to work out that way.
Yeah, right directly. It is required that it is 100% in your vision.
Yes, it's tremendous. And many slash most slash I hope all of the racing organizations have a limit to how big or small the crack needs to be in order for the windshield to be qualifying. And it will quickly grow past that if you don't put one of these little polymeric materials into the crack and kind of arrest it, because the water breaks up the hydrogen bonds of the glass and will actually, it's not the hydrogen bonds, but the hydrogen in water. And we can get into that on the separate OnlyFans version where we get into the chemistry of silicate glasses. But
See,
that's
kids,
okay.
you had no idea you were going to learn science today, did you?
That's right. Welcome to what was it, Bill Nye the Science Guy, dude? So those are two tire crayons and windshield repair kits. About 10, 20 bucks.
Yep.
Miss Vicki.
No, it's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn. You go after me.
Let's steal his thunder.
Yeah.
He's
All
got
right.
thunder. It's gonna be some safety jump. Yeah.
It is. Well, no, actually.
No.
So
No?
all this amazing new safety stuff, this race suit awesomeness that you have just purchased, you got to
Got
have
it.
somewhere to put it, because that old funky stinking bag that smells and you can't bring it in the house, your wife makes you keep it in the garage.
Uh-huh.
You got to replace it, right?
Sometimes the
So
bag can make the stuff inside it smell. I'm just saying.
yes. So I'm gonna go with a good gear bag, right? Duffel bag. Some people have oversized duffel bags for their gear to go in. I have a rather large
Ed,
Ogio
oh,
duffel bag, gear bag that is on wheels. So you can go crazy with gear bags. You
Especially
know,
if you fly.
especially if you fly. Super simple. Actually, Summit has a really nice one that's $80 and it fits your Hans, your helmet, your suit, your shoes, your glove, like literally everything in there that you need to take to the racetrack to get in the race car and drive. So I'm gonna go with that. A really good bag for all of that amazing gear.
There is a family in the Garage Heroes in Training family that likes to use their hockey bags.
Oh yeah. Yep. Talk about oversized.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if it's a goalie bag, you could fit like the entire team in there
Yeah.
and their clothes.
Yep.
See that
And
out
maybe
in
and maybe somebody in it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that's how Bennett got out to Portland when we shipped it out and just put him inside the bag and carried him on. It's fine.
Copy.
Yeah, no worries.
mhm. So, okay, what I came across is not necessarily for racing, but it is definitely for car, and it might be handy if you happen to be at the track. It is a car streaming adapter. And what it does is it plugs into your USB and it turns your info station into a receiver that you can watch Netflix on, you can watch YouTube on, and it may have some other channels that you can actually watch too. But I do know that it does those two. So if you want to slip off into the car and you just want to kind of relax and chill and turn your car on and, watch some YouTubes that you want to do while you can be nice and warm, or happen to go out somewhere and you want to do something, you can actually go and use that, or, have people in the car and maybe just have something to watch.
That explains the guy I was following on the way into work this morning.
What do you mean?
That's what he was doing.
He was watching Netflix while he was driving because he wasn't driving. He wasn't following the road.
He was
Well,
watching
yeah,
the new
don't
Wolverine
do it
and
when you're driving.
Daredevil. I mean, whatever his name is, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right.
Santa Jeremy doesn't keep up on his Marvel stuff. All
Oh,
right.
I do, and that I just having a. By the way, it wasn't as good as it should have been.
It wasn't bad, though, but it wasn't good. All right, let's talk. I'm in the mood to get people better at driving.
Okay.
Entry level. Let's talk Forza Gran Turismo. You just buy them a game for their system or their computer. Or if you want to go a little higher, depending on budget, like, if you're someone who has a podcast and constantly has to work himself out of sleeping in the bathtub, perhaps you want to go with a sim system, perhaps just the rig that you sit on, or perhaps better pedals or a better steering wheel or things like that, perhaps better visual, maybe an Oculus or whatever the 3D version is, or maybe just a better screen or a better graphics card, depending on what your significant other or family friend or whomever you're looking to get. Perhaps you can get them something that would make their sim racing as we go into winter, and they could actually use it like right now, right now, right now,
Right now,
right now.
I like it. And if you want a good entry level sim setup and you're not sure what to get, email us. I can set you up with a really good setup for fairly inexpensive. All right. So, speaking of going into the season, I'm going to get away from safety gear right now, and we're going to talk about helping people out. So, those of us that live in the colder climates, a lot of times our batteries don't like them, or we have done something. Well, I did something stupid recently. I went to pick up lunch the other day at work, and I got back to the job site and turned my truck off. And then I was like, oh, I need to roll my window down. So I turned the ignition on and rolled my window down and never turned the ignition off.
Oh,
So
That's fine. That's fine.
So what I did is I pulled my jump pack, and that's what we're going with here. I pulled my jump pack out of the truck And well, it wasn't charged.
Wow.
Uh-huh. So get somebody a really good jump pack. And periodically, those of you that have them, make sure that they are charged because they don't work if they're not.
Mm-mm.
So,
And the NoCo Boost HD 2000 has got it's a 12-volt jump starter.
Yep.
And they're pretty amazing. They really
mhm.
are. And
They
you
say
should
charge a while
actually you
too.
should have one always with you.
Yep, always. You can charge your phones. You can charge whatever you want. I
Don't
have,
tell her she can charge her phone. It will never be
oh,
charged anymore.
Mhm.
I have some Matco ones. They're good for everything. And
It-
if you go camping and you forget something and you need to charge your phone, you don't want to run your vehicle, like those jump packs, they are awesome.
And they
And
have flashlights on them too.
yep,
Like the
yep.
one whole
So,
end lights up. So
mhm. So that
that's
at
very
night
helpful.
when you need to see what you're doing to jump your vehicle because you left your key on all day, or your battery just said, "Hey, it's too cold and I don't want to do this anymore," um, it works out really well.
No, they're
But
very handy. We use them quite a bit
that's because we
around.
don't use our trickle chargers as much.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
ending up in the tub again tonight. That's fine.
Yeah, you're working your way there for sure.
That's fine.
So, I did come across a flashlight holder with a clamp. And what this does, it's like a little stocking stuffer thing. It's a little filler gift. And what it does is when you're working on a creeper, what it does is the clamp attaches to the creeper and to the flashlight. So it sits at your shoulder. So when you're rolling around, you can direct this light because normally you either have a stick and you're trying to stick a stick up underneath the car and you're trying to find something that's magnetic to hit it to, and you can't find anything that's magnetic because undercoating or whatever. But this I thought was kind of handy because you can kind of direct it where you want to, and you're kind of laying around working underneath there under tight spaces anyway. So that was a nice. It runs about $23. It's got a good, again, it's a good filler gift, something that, it's unexpected. It's a little thing, but I thought it would be very handy. I would find it to be very handy.
They're awesome.
Hmm.
I think so. I think so.
Oh, and the other thing I want to bring up, I just want because that one was just a really fast one, and I want to kind of tie this into um every couple months, I would say like 2 or 3 times a year, I go into the hangar and I do a very deep clean on everything. And that includes this wonderful Matco cabinet that I have that I really do take care of my tools. I degrease my tools 3 times a year. So Leatherman has a tool maintenance kit and other degreaser kits that are along the line, but they're actually meant for your tools. They won't damage your tools when you're degreasing them. Normally, I use that gunk and I would wrap them up in like a plastic, let them sit and then wipe them. But I don't know how much that would damage the actual rubber on the tools over time. So, a nice garage tool maintenance kit. I know that I'm picky because all my stuff is pink, but
It's so pretty.
it's so pretty, but I do take care of them. And it kind of like when you go into your cabinet and everything's fresh, you get a little bit more excited about having to go work on your stuff. So again, there's a nice price range between 20 to 70, whatever these kits are, but take care of your stuff. It lasts longer, makes you healthier when you're kind of working on stuff. It makes you feel good. It makes you want to work.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mhm.
You know what you need, Jeremy,
I need a lot of things.
for this weekend?
Um, no.
Okay. Jeremy will be building his first cage, I believe, with us at our
You've
Friendsgiving
never built a
festival.
cage before?
No. Uh,
Ooh.
You know what
Nope.
you're going to find that you're going to need there, Santa Jeremy?
What's that?
You're going to need a digital angle finder gauge.
Ooh,
Doesn't sound like you need one, but you need one, and
you do need one,
you'll see just how cool these things are, and they're like 20 or $30.
but you need one not just for doing an awesome roll cage, but
I
like
know.
checking your camber and things like that.
Mm-hmm. The multitasker. So
Mhm.
it's amazing how you don't think you need one until you get one, and then you end up using it like almost every day.
Is that
You
the
were this
alignment kit? Is that
It's
like the
part of
alignment?
it's the little gauge that we have. That's
that
looks
Yeah.
like
little one that sticks.
yep,
It's
Mhm.
magnetized to it
yep.
sticks to the rotor, and you check everything with it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So
Yeah.
20, $30, not bad. They last forever until you lose them. And they're small enough that you lose them pretty often. So even if they have one, you might need to. No, fits
Mhm.
in the stocking again.
Right. But, to follow up on that, what I've noticed at the racetrack is when you hit something solid and you have to change a tie rod, it's always good for you to have an alignment kit right there. So, again, there's different price points on that also. Um, but I think alignment kit would make a really great gift
Yeah,
for those that are actually at the track and have issues.
we had we had
Yep.
Quick Trick on, and theirs is pretty nice and light, and it's pretty easy to use. And there's
Mhm.
again, you can spend whatever you want. I mean, how much would a
Yeah, they
laser alignment
range.
table be, Jeremy? Like 6 grand, 10 grand,
Hmm.
something worse. Way up more. Jeremy's giving me the thumbs up. It's a different finger than normal. I didn't know what it was for a minute. That one I'm used to. Yep, that's the one. Oh, geez. Tis the season. La 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 la.
I'm gonna switch back to safety. Okay.
Shocking.
Super easy thing. And I'm gonna bring this up only because of what happened to me last race season. Well, what happened to Nick and I last race season. And thank God for Audra and Max and that team. They bailed us out. So expired equipment.
Yeah,
Our fire extinguisher.
you had a little bit last year.
Yeah, our fire extinguisher had expired. And fire extinguishers are typically good for about 10 years, but they have to be serviced every couple of years. So there are a lot of people out there that do servicing. Spa Technique is who I use. They are amazing. They're super fast turnaround. Their prices are reasonable. I think it cost me under $200 shipped out to them, certified and shipped back. And I got it back within a week. So
But you didn't
something
bring it with
super
you, by
easy.
the way.
What's that?
I'm just trying to make sure the audience gets the full effect. You got it shipped right
Oh,
back to you, but you didn't bring it, so that doesn't do us any
so
good.
what happened? Let's okay. Side story. We get to New Jersey to race, and the extinguisher expired on Friday test day. Thank God Audra had hers. So
Mm.
we sent it in, but we used somebody different. And it turned into it's going to be done in 6 weeks. Oh, it's going to be done in 8 weeks. It might be 3 more weeks. We don't know. Finally, just ship it back to me, please. And then I shipped it to Spa. And so Audra bailed us out for 2 races straight because we didn't have an extinguisher.
Oh,
So off season is a great time to check your extinguisher, your seat belts, your seat if you race in a series that requires, seats that are up to date. Check those things. Extinguisher under $200. You can surprise them by saying, "Hey, I shipped it out. It's going to be certified, and you're good to go for next race season."
And usually, if we're at a race, we usually have multiple. So between taking care of Jeremy and taking care of anybody else, we usually have a couple. We've got especially now that Miss Vicki has her little fire extinguisher mount in the trailer that I always forget is there, but I have at least two. So we're
Wait,
good.
you have a fire extinguisher mount in your trailer?
Yeah, she's gone a little.
Stocking stuffer.
I know it's kind of cool. Indeed,
yeah.
indeed. All right, so let's think. Oh, it's Miss Vicky. That's right. Sorry, I can't keep
Yeah.
order. I can't keep order
So
today.
I came across something that was interesting, and this is not necessarily for racing, but it's just a nice thing to have for your cars. It's called an Actua electric car jack. And what it is a hydraulic a little hydraulic up to 5 tons for like when you get a flat tire.
The heavy
It
tire.
it Yeah, it actually has an impact wrench, an inflator for your car. It's got an LED screen with a tire pressure gauge, so you can kind of set it. But what it does is that you mount it underneath your car and it jacks up right on the little jack system. So it's a little hydraulic jack at the same time, just for like a flat tire, just for something fast. Um, and it pumps the tire up at the same time for when you have to change something.
Because we're here to pump
Because
you
we're
up.
here to pump.
You up.
Yep, and that runs about 150. But it's probably a good thing for you to have like when you're traveling, and something happens on the road. I know you're going to have a bunch of stuff in your car and in your gear and all that kind of stuff, but this is just something fast. Go in there, put it, do what you got to do, and out the door you go.
So what else I was thinking? So Jeremy is let's see, how do I say this nicely? He's a bit of a tool snob. He is.
Is he?
He is.
A little bit.
A little bit. Not in a bad way. Just, Okay. But a lot of people, when they get into the sport, don't really know what they're doing. Like we've assisted more than a handful of people. Exactly. Most of the people have helped us, but a lot of people don't really have tools, and they don't really know what to do. So a lot of times you'll get these like $20 Craftsman tool chests, and they're blow molded plastic, and they're kind of not what you want. They're kind of okay if you're kind of working around the house, but if you're going to get into this, I'd like to see you take like an extra step, at least like a half a step, maybe a full step. I don't know. So the one that I seem to like right now, that's in the sub $200, I think it's like $190, but it's a little bit better than the starter set. And it's got most of the stuff you want. It's got a good selection of your mechanic type tools. Is from Gear Wrench, and I think they're on sale, especially with Black Friday's coming out, which is why we're coming to this episode out of order and early, in case they're Black Friday sales or was it Cyber Monday, and might be worth looking at. I think the tool wrench from Gear Wrench is the tool set from Gear Wrench is pretty nice set, and probably right around that $200, and maybe with Black Friday deals might be a little less. It's got high 200 number tools, and they're not all microscopic wrenches just to get the tool counts up, and they're actually useful. So might be a little bit better than the one to get you started, and probably more than 3 times better than the $100 one. So I think it's worth going for.
So if you are going to do that, my one suggestion is, if you're going to buy that for somebody, there are a lot of tool sets out there, and I know that Gear Wrench has them as well, that are 12-point socket sets. Stay away from those. Nobody uses 12-point. So if you have a choice of 12-point or 6-point, go with the 6-point. Smaller the number this time is always better. So stay away from that 12-point set. Get the 6-point set. That's what you want.
Yeah, and the one thing that I've learned too, when you come across the big sets like that, is that when you work as a mechanic, each car is kind of set with like 5 sockets, 5 or 7 sockets. They're the same things that go all the way through. So when you buy like the really, really big 200, 300 piece, whatever, half of that stuff you're never really going to use, or you're going to be using it very, very sparingly. So, if it's like a little supplemental, um, if it's like a little supplemental, I would go smaller, like a smaller case with all your necessities versus one that has a bunch of pieces that you're never really going to use. And that's just the mechanic realm of it. You would probably use those other pieces somewhere else, like in a home or something like that, or if you're building things or whatever. But there's a lot of pieces that are you just don't really use, that you could probably just get out of your regular cabinet.
Okay.
So be careful of that one.
I just checked into it. Gear Wrench is the 80966 243 piece, and apparently I am not up to date with inflation. It is $275 right now, not on sale.
Yeah.
So,
but again, if you're just starting out, or that person's just starting out, that's a great
Yeah,
place
if
to
you're
start.
starting out, that's great piece.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a little backup, then I wouldn't go large. But definitely if it's your first piece, and then go big.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the thing that I love the most, and I'm going to bring it up every year for our
I'm right here,
newbies.
baby. You don't have to tell
I
everybody.
know. It's
They
a
already know.
Carhartt flannel lined cargo pants
Yeah, you do
for
like
when you're
those.
working in the garage.
I
I
need to
have to
order.
tell you,
I
these
need to
things
order
are
some.
amazing when you're working in the garage.
And for those of you that don't know, Lowe's and Home Depot now sell. I know Lowe's does Carhartt.
Yes. Uh,
So if you got one of those box stores close, there you go.
yeah. I'm telling you, they make the biggest difference. Not to mention that they're extremely durable. They got double layered knee pads or knees on them. So if you happen to be crawling around or getting really scruffy, they really wear well. I've had the pair that I've had probably going on 4 years now, and they're perfect. They're still perfect. I highly, highly recommend. I also, for myself, as a girl working in a garage, and especially at the track, also on cold days, I like to wear slip-on Merrells, especially they're mucks. So they're not necessarily garage shoes, but for the Merrells that are the mocks, they're great for when you're at the track on cold days because you can
Mhm.
slide out of your regular shoes, slip onto these things, and they're fleece lined in the bottom, so you have easy access to getting on your race shoes and then sliding these on. And they're also great in the garage because the floors in the wintertime get so freaking cold
Mm-hmm.
that the lining, not to mention to have the fleece lining in these shoes, and for the fact that you have a very, very thick winter bottom on them, like a rubber sole bottom on them, that you don't feel the chill in your body, as if saying you were wearing a sneaker or a regular shoe or when you're in the garage in the winter time. So for people that do work in the cold, um, and especially at the track also, I found that the Merrill shoe, which I think for girls it would be the Ice Encore, and I don't know what they're called for men, and I don't think men would actually wear them.
They're the ice
But
babies.
but a good, regardless, a good slide on shoe versus having to lace up your stuff um is good for at the track and in the garage also.
Yep.
Don't forget your Dovetail Ladies female work clothes.
Yes, yes.
You like those as
And,
well.
and I appreciate the idea about the coveralls. I really do. They're adorable, they're cute, they're durable, stuff like that. But when you got to go to the bathroom, you really got to you got to come to terms with that decision that you just made about having to go for coveralls. You got to strip yourself down. So, appreciate the idea about a coverall, but definitely fleece lined.
Plan ahead, woman. Hey, Jeremy,
Plan ahead.
did anybody skip you on that one, by the way? Just checking. Anybody?
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
That's
Just
okay.
checking. Just checking.
I was still trying to think of another one. I still am. So Bill, go ahead.
All right. So what do you get the podcast that you listen to and love the most? Well, all right. Pretend it's us, not the most. Anyway, subscriptions, rate, review, share our podcast. That would be great. That would be great. That would make us very happy. It would help. Did I take up enough time for you, Jeremy?
No.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
anyway.
So, how about a Vac Life handheld vacuum for the car,
Okay.
which
Or you
is
could do the DeWalt one because you have
or the
DeWalt batteries
DeWalt
already.
or the DeWalt, but a nice little handheld that you can kind of get into where you're in your race car and you got all the debris that's all piled up in your car from because you had gone off or you've just accumulated rubber, something to get in there and kind of get the debris out so it doesn't fly in your face in case something happens. So they're always kind of a little handy to have at the track also, because you're not at the garage. You don't have your big vacuum that you have to clean out your car all the time because it's always good. You don't want loose debris in your car.
No, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Um, let's go with I think a good stocking stuffer is a really good set of lug nut sockets.
Yes.
I
So
like those.
lug nut
Yeah.
sockets are great. They're fantastic. They're usually very thin. They have a plastic shell on the outside of them, or casing, shall we say, that allows them to be non-marring to those really, really expensive wheels, whether they're on your race car or they're on your street car, whatever the case is. But they just make life so much easier, so much nicer. And it's not a massive socket set of extra stuff that you're not ever going to use. It is all the common, typically 17, 19, 21 lug nut sockets that everyone can use. I think the last time I looked them up, they were between $40 and $80 for a set. But that's a great little stocking stuffer. And it'll make them think they got coal in their stocking because they're very heavy.
They're quite heavy. All right. So last one for Miss Vicki. What do you got? 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 Besides the mute button.
I would say my last would be the Sandor collapsible magnetic parts trays. They are nice space savers. They kind of, because you have trays, you have them all up on your walls and whatever, and they're great. But these things kind of collapse down. They're silicone. You can get matching sets, and especially in our situation when we had more than one car going, that we had our cars color coded. So we knew that the greens were for the Hondas and the pinks were for one of the track cars because we had multiple things going on at one time. So Bill had coordinated it in a way where these trays were for this car, this tray was for this car. And there's, you can match the Sandor collapsible trays with the other silicone trays that are, bendable and flexible, but, they're good space savers is what they are. Because, if you work in a a one car garage or like expanded one car garage, or you have the two car garage, things start to build up pretty quickly, and you have to find places to store things easy. And they're good at the track too.
Oh, they're
That
awesome everywhere. They're
Yeah, just
fantastic,
everywhere.
absolutely fantastic. And there's a lot of companies that make them.
Hmm.
Like Vicky said, there's a ton of different colors, whatever color you like. They're fantastic. I have a set of 3 of them that stay right in the toolbox in the race car trailer.
Hmm.
They're just so easy.
Right.
And it makes
And
putting things
again,
away easier.
Bill, like again, Bill had it to where, each car had a color. So, when you have multiple projects going at one time and things got shifted, you knew what color was going for what car. So things didn't really get confusing on the trays when things started going a little wild. It's very handy.
Which it happens. All right.
Hmm.
All right. I'm gonna go with the got a few to choose from. Let's give Audra a little spice. Get somebody a autocross entry.
Blech.
Or just make sure it's not Jeremy.
What?
What?
I'm just kidding. She's not even on here to enjoy that.
I know.
Darn it.
We'll figure it out. But they can be, depending on where you live, they can be like 40, $50. They can be $100. They can be something around there. And maybe go with them and see what's going on. And maybe you'll find out that you too would like to do it with them. And autocross is, you don't need a special car, don't need anything special. Just go and be safe. The biggest thing you're going to have to do is clean your car out, which if your car is anything like ours, that's not a bad thing to do every now and then.
Right, right. No, autocross is great, especially if you got that person that's not sure if they want to get on an actual racetrack and you're trying to convince them to, that they may enjoy doing this kind of thing. Autocross is a great place for that. Great place to start. Just when you really start racing road course, kind of throw a lot of that autocross stuff that you learned out the window. But that's something for a different time.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, it could be a way to give to one of the kids in the family who just got their license. And then, it's a pretty safe way to learn how to handle your car a little bit more. And it'll be a good time.
100%. It will make you a safer driver. It will make people a safer driver on the road too.
Yep. All right, Jeremy, bring it on home.
All right. We're going to bring it on home. Oh, what do we want to do? You know what? I want you to go out and I
All
want
right.
you
See you later.
to buy that mechanic friend or racer or whatever they may be a new set of spark plug sockets. And I
I don't
say
know
that
why you need
because,
them. Why do you need them,
well,
Jeremy? Why can't you just use a socket?
it doesn't work that way. You can't get the spark plugs out, especially nowadays where a lot of these engines they're very far down in. So spark plug sockets, they wear out. They have a rubber insert in them that attaches, the spark plug pressure fits into it. So you can actually unscrew the spark plug, pull it out, and they wear out. They do. So go out, buy them a new set of spark plug sockets. Get a little fancy if you want. They do make some magnetic spark plug sockets, so you don't even have to deal with those rubbers.
They don't wear out.
They don't wear out typically, unless you lose one. But go ahead and get those. They're fairly inexpensive, great little stocking stuffer, easy to use. And if you want to really go all in, get them a set of locking extensions to go with those spark plug sockets.
Schmancy. And Jeremy's a tool guy.
Mm-hmm.
So if he likes a tool, it's got to be a good tool. You know what I was thinking about when we talked about the socket sets that you were talking about for the wheels, lug nuts?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They make the ones that have those little torque tubes, so you can kind of get them close, but not too hard. And if you're using battery or air, you can make sure that you're in the range, but it does not replace a torque.
The only downside to those is they can be brittle. So if they get thrown around in your toolbox, if they get, I've seen them snap before. I've had one snap on me. So that's kind of why I didn't bring those up.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of them. A lot of people love them. I'm not a huge fan of them.
I kind of like them because they give you like an extra 6 inches of length, and it makes it easier for some tires to get into.
Hey, yeah. Bill, we're talking about lug nuts here.
I know. Well, I'm not wearing a belt, so very well. All right. Well, I guess we've got non-Santa on that one, but that's fine. That's fine. That's
so
fine.
You know what? I do have one last thing that I'd love to bring up.
Well, since it's your beard, it's your holiday, Jeremy.
This is something super, super easy. It is not going to cost you anything. Legitimately, it'll cost you nothing. You could get them a subscription to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast.
That's $0.00.
$0.00.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Super easy. If they haven't listened, they need to.
Okay.
Or Everyone Racers, that podcast is free as well.
It is very free.
It's an awesome one too.
If they haven't listened, everybody needs to.
Everybody needs to. Yeah. And we like to say we're the 101 and they're the 201, but that's fine. Sometimes we get a little deeper than we like to falsely advertise, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. So with that, I'm going to end our episode and then tell you to something that may or may not add on to this, depending on what you hear. But we've had a request from the audience. So if this continues, then Jeremy and Miss Vicki have agreed to what I'm about to talk about. And if it ends right here, then yeah, I'm just doing this at the listener's request. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas coming up. Black Friday shopping.
And
yes, good luck.
Indeed. So you ready for the weirdest request we've gotten?